What's up guys, Nick here once again with another new TV Box release on the new Rockchip RK3566 CPU and the Mali G52 GPU running on Android 11 operating system. This is the T95 Plus and this model runs on 4GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage, and there's also a 4GB 64GB model. As usual, in this review we take a close look at its hardware performance and firmware features, and let's see if the T95 Plus does a better job than some of the recent Rockchip models. So don't go anywhere, you have that right after a word from today's sponsor. Welcome back. In the box you get the usual stuff. You get the TV box itself. You get one infrared remote control, one HDMI cable, a 5V 2A DC power adapter, and a user's manual. Its design feels premium built. It's got some weight to it, which is always a good sign, as this indicates that there's a good chance there's a decent sized heatsink on the inside. Its entire body is made of plastic, and to the top four corners you have an RGB lighting system that also has ventilation holes. To the rear, it has one HDMI 2.0 port, one RJ45GB LAN port, and the DC power input. To one side you have one USB 2.0 port and an optical audio port. On the opposite side it has one USB 3.0 port, an SD card slot, and a reset pinhole button. At the front it has an LED display, and below the box it has 4 anti-skid rubber feet and some more cooling vents to its four corners. So I'll just take a moment to set this up and continue. So I'm back, and when you start up the box you are greeted with this T95 Plus animation for a few seconds, then you are taken to the launcher. There is no startup wizard, so you are taken directly to the launcher. This launcher is called the H launcher, and it features these large main icons that cannot be changed, and it has a shortcuts bar to the top here. It doesn't have a navigation bar or a status bar, and to the top right corner here it features this clock widget. The operating system you are running on here is Android 11. It came out of the factory that manufactures Mbox, and here is the firmware build information. I attempted a firmware update, and there are no available updates at this time. As far as feature goes, this box features a true maximum display of 4K at 60Hz and not 59.98Hz as it is displayed here by my capture card. It has advanced display settings, which features a gaming mode. You have audio output options that can be found under the decode and bitstream section under song settings. You also have digital surround sound audio options. You have built-in auto screen rotation and fixed screen rotation options. You have a power key definition option. You have HDMI CEC options. It has a hardware monitor feature, a feature not found in other similar Rockchip models. You have an energy screensaver option. You have a Google Assistant feature, and 65 various languages to choose from. Included in this firmware is an app with a few options to customize its LED lighting feature. As for pre-installed apps, these are all of the apps that come pre-installed. For streaming, they have included Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and the new IMBD streaming service along with YouTube. For casting, They included the AirScreen app and a DLNA. And as a media player, they included the KD player. So to complete my review, I will install some additional apps and continue. So I'm back and I've installed all my apps, and there were no issues installing apps from the Play Store and updating them, but there is an issue where the Google Play Store itself is not updating to the latest version. So first, let's take a look at its system and hardware information. The manufacturer of this box is hidden, but it does show the model of the main board, which is the RK356X. It runs on 4GB of RAM, which is DDR3 memory, and 32GB of eMMC internal storage, from which this is the remainder. Its Bluetooth version is 4.0. Its CPU is the new Rockchip RK3566, and it's a 64-bit quad-core Cortex-A55 CPU clocked at 1.8 GHz with support for both 32 and 64-bit ABIs. This means that it's a 64-bit TV box and it can install and run 64-bit applications. Its GPU is the Mali G52 with OpenGL ES version 3.2 support. This means that it should perform well in some 3D gaming. On the network, it shows that it has dual band 2.4 plus 5 GHz Wi-Fi support. Its operating system is Android 11, and it shows here that the box is rooted, but this is incorrect as I will show you in the root checker app. Under devices, it shows that it has Vulkan support, and this is Vulkan version 1.1. Under temperature, with the RGB lights, it runs hot around 79 degrees Celsius, and with the RGB lights switched off, it's around 76 degrees. And with no ventilation holes below this box, it's definitely going to have some overheating issues. Under codecs, it has all the decoders for the playback of 4K videos with HDR format. However, I couldn't identify any Dolby or DTS audio decoders. This doesn't mean that there aren't any. I will confirm its digital audio output in a sound test later in the video. So that's its system and hardware information, and let's now take a look at its root access and digital rights management information. In its system and hardware information, it showed that the box is rooted, but this is incorrect as the true root checker app shows that it's not, and unfortunately this box does not have a root switch. However, for those concerned about whether this will affect streaming movies and TV shows, it will not. Having root access only affects those who would like to run specialized apps that require root access, such as gamepad key mapping apps and the menu button alternative navigation bar. Here I installed the menu button alternative navigation bar, and because the box is not rooted, certain features are not working, such as the volume controls and the multitasking option. All other functions work as normal. To learn how to install this alternative navigation bar, which is the best alternative navigation bar for TV boxes, see the link in the description below this video. Drm Info, or Digital Rights Management, speak to a box's ability to install the official version of premium streaming services such as Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and Netflix, and play them in HD and 4K. The same way you have it on your smart television and some high-end devices such as the Nvidia Shield and Amazon Fire TV devices, because they all provide the level of protection from piracy that Google requires. These official devices normally carry a DRM level of Google Widevine Level 1 with HDCP 2.2 protection that encrypts the signal if you try to record it. The T95 Plus only has a DRM level of Google Widevine Level 3 with no HDCP protection. This means that premium streaming services such as the one mentioned will install on this box. However, they will be restricted to a much lower resolution even if you are paying for premium resolution. The lower resolution is usually 480p. Most of us would love to have a subscription with all of the top streaming services such as Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime Video, and many others. But the truth is, there are many of us who don't have access due to our geolocation or just simply can't afford to pay for a monthly subscription. For those of us who find ourselves in this position, we are left with the option of alternative streaming methods. This doesn't mean you have to install dangerous third-party applications that try to steal your personal data and doesn't pass Google's Play Protect feature. There are apps on the Google Play Store that comply with Google Play Protect that can deliver free streams of movies and TV shows. Some of them have lots of annoying ads, but do provide an alternative option. I've been trying out some of these to see which ones provide the best streams and are actually working. Top of the list is Drm that provides the latest streams with zero ads. And to check out some of these other apps found on the Play Store that passes Google's Play Protect feature, I created a list in the description below. For watching videos on YouTube, you now have the option of both versions. You can install the mobile version that's more compatible with wireless air mouse and various mouse pointers, and you can also install the Android TV version that's more suited to using a direction pad. Both versions are now equipped with the ability to play videos in 4K HDR quality. It's just a matter of which one suits you. Whilst the video played okay on the mobile version, I ran into 3 issues playing 4K HDR videos. Firstly, on the mobile version, I could not get HDR display while playing a video. On the Android TV version, it's limited to 720p resolution with no HDR display and the video freezes consistently. The third issue is with the Android TV version, and that is the annoying Google Assistant feature, and to turn it off, you'll have to disable speech services in the settings area. So for those who like to use these boxes to play HD or 4K videos, I will now test its 4K HDR video playback capability using the VLC player with hardware acceleration set to full and audio pass-through enabled in its audio settings. This is in preparation for its digital surround sound audio test, which I'll be performing in a moment.
and only a win for Barca would be enough because it would give them the same number of points as Atletico, but the head-to-head goal difference is what counts in the
So these 4K HDR videos, though they appear to play okay, the playback is not the smoothest, it gets choppy at times, and it even froze during the jellyfish video. Another thing to note is that this box does not have HDR or Dolby Vision display. Let's now have a look at its digital surround sound audio output, and in this test I have it connected in HDMI pass-through configuration. Then I'll connect it via optical audio, and using the VLC player, let's see how many formats it can output.
This is the left channel.
So from this test, it's quite unfortunate that it reveals that this box does not support Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, HD Master Audio THX or Dolby True HD. I changed to the Kodi Media Player, and the only format that was produced was basic DTS. And due to this, I will forego the optical audio test as it will just be a waste of time. Moving along. For alternative launchers, it took another strange turn of event, where the usual ADW Launcher 2 installed, but it's not loading correctly. So I installed the new upgraded Nova Launcher, which I heard about from on Twitter, and surprisingly, the new version works with features such as long-click menu pop-ups and drag and drop shortcuts. However, when I attempted to change the wallpaper, it indicated that the box's admin has locked that feature. This box comes pre-installed with the upgraded version of the AirScreen app, and it works to cast your mobile devices without issues. So for my final demonstration, I usually play some Android games to test its graphics rendering performance, gamepad key mapping capability, and to monitor for overheating. Unfortunately, I ran into some more issues, starting with Google Play services where it's not updating. Hence, many games are not recognizing your Google account or restoring your saved game data. The second issue is when you connect your gamepad via Bluetooth, games are not interfacing with your gamepads. The third issue is gamepad key mapping apps are not working on this box. So even games that are gamepad compatible cannot be played because it's not detecting your Bluetooth connected gamepad. The game you are currently seeing on the screen is a game called War Robots that's compatible with mouse and keyboard. That's how I managed to play it. Furthermore, temperatures rose into the high 80s when I was playing this game, so there's a bit of overheating. So, to end this review, let's take a look at its benchmarks and where it places on my rankings chart. First, it has a RAM copy speed of 3708 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 93 megabytes per second and a write speed of 44. There is nothing out of the ordinary with these scores, and it's consistent with scores associated with S905X3 and S905X4 boxes. Next, its internet speed test revealed that it has maximum bandwidth on my 150 megabits per second network on the LAN port, which confirms that it's a gigabit LAN port. Its 5 GHz band only achieved 47%, and the 2.4 GHz band achieved only 27%, so not a good showing here for its Wi-Fi connectivity. In the Antutu Benchmark, it delivered a score of 87,324. This is a decent score for its hardware, but from what we are seeing from its firmware, it's going to be in a direct contradiction with its ranking chart placement. In its Geekbench 4 CPU benchmark, it scored 780 single-core and 1,455 multi-core. The single-core score seems okay, but the multi-core score is a little below average. In its graphics benchmark, it scored 7,248 in the Ice Storm Extreme test, it scored 771 in the Slingshot test, and 534 in the Slingshot Extreme test with Vulkan support. These benchmarks are pretty good compared to similar models. However, they mean nothing without proper firmware support. So that's the last of the benchmarks. Let's now see where it places on the chart. So after entering the scores on my rankings chart, the T95 Plus is ranked at position 21 in reference to its Antutu benchmark score, which to some may be a good indicator for this box. However, I advise that you refer to the pros and cons before you decide to purchase. You can view this chart on my blog in spreadsheet format where you can compare various scores, and I also provide price comparison links using these links right here. A link to this chart can be found in the description below this video. So in summary, the T95 Plus is a box I had high hopes for to rejuvenate and to bring some energy to this new rock chip lineup. Turns out it's plagued with firmware challenges in similar fashion to other new rock chip models. Again, the hardware is fantastic. You have 64-bit architecture, and in their other model, you have 8 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage. It's a beauty of a box to look at. It feels premium built. It's running on the latest Android 11 operating system. It's great for streaming movies and TV shows, and it's just what we need as competition for the Amlogic models. However, the firmware just isn't ready and needs updating. I would very much like to see someone do some work and create a custom ROM for this chipset, and let's really see how this box is supposed to perform. More so, that Core Elec released a device tree update for this chipset. With that said, I've come to the end of this review. Thanks goes out to Kafago for sending this box for review. I really appreciate the effort in supporting this channel, and I really do like to create positive and fun-filled TV Box videos for my sponsors. So if you would like to get your hands on this model, again, it's a great box for streaming movies and TV shows, and you can get it at the lowest price using their link in the description below this video. Thanks for watching. Give this video the thumbs up if the information contained in this video was of value. If you are new to this channel and would like to see more great videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell before leaving to be notified when I release new videos or decide to do a giveaway. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.